Fox News host Jeanine Pirro just took the prize as the dumbest host on Fox News. And I do mean that. This is not hyperbole. She's worse than Hannity. She's worse than O'Reilly. You name the person, she's worse. Now, you might not agree with that right now. After this clip, I think you will think differently. So she gave a rant on ISIS that is the single most over-the-top, fear-mongering rant in human history. So let's listen, and then I'll spend about 6 hours correcting her garbage.
Tonight, America faces the single biggest threat in her more than 200-year history. Worse than what we faced in World War I, World War II, the attack on Pearl Harbor, and Al-Qaeda on 9/11. I'm telling you, ISIS, if not already on American soil, will be here. They are coming. And whether they come as a legion or lone wolves, the damage will be painful and it will be extensive. It will happen here on our soil. No one is taking this seriously enough. If our government were listening, our borders would be closed. If our government were listening, we'd be bombing ISIS nonstop. And if they were listening, our president would be following the advice of the military experts united on the issue of boots on the ground. But instead, our president thinks he knows more than the military experts, a disagreement highlighted this week and virtually unseen in American history. And if our government were listening, we would never have gotten out of Iraq the way that we did, with the consequences that George Bush predicted and even Leon Panetta said was a mistake. And if the government were listening, they would raise the terror threat level. When people are willing to commit war crimes on camera, they are not afraid of us. And if only you were listening this time, I'm telling you to batten down the hatches. Make plans to reach family members in the event of an emergency. Teach your children to be alert. Get supplies that might not be as easily available. Check what your kids, even teens, are looking at online.
That was just comical. I mean, that was like what somebody would do if they were trying to parody a Fox News host. Be afraid! Be so afraid! Batten down the hatches! Everybody run for the hills! This is the scariest thing that's ever happened ever. She actually said this is the biggest threat in American history. In American history. ISIS. Maximum 30,000 dudes in the middle of a desert right now, shitting in holes, okay? They're worse than the Nazis were. The Nazis who had an air force and a navy and millions of people and were just going around Europe nonchalantly grabbing countries, who had gas chambers and did the Holocaust and killed millions of people. You're telling me ISIS is worse than Joseph frickin' Stalin? Joseph Stalin. Did you know, I saw a Stalin documentary recently, and they described how he had plans to start World War III with America. And look, this is from his inner circle. Okay, from people within his inner circle. And actually, there's a lot of speculation, and I think it's relatively accepted historically that he was poisoned by his inner circle because his inner circle did not want to go to war with the United States of America, did not want a third world war, but crazy-ass Stalin was throwing around threats and saying, hey, guess what? Come on, FDR. Bring it, big guy. No. Millions of people in Russia that would have been forced to fight from Stalin because Stalin didn't care about killing his own people. He would have killed you if you didn't go fight in World War III, which he wanted. You're telling me that ISIS, 30,000 people max, they're worse than Stalin. I can't even begin to tell you how dumb that is. No, you know who ISIS is more in league with? Boko Haram. Boko Haram, Al-Shabaab, Al-Nusra Front, Al-Qaeda, okay? These are, yes, they're horrible people, but they're guerrilla groups. They don't have a navy. They don't have a fucking air force. Are you kidding me? All of their weapons are from us because we left them behind in Iraq in the first place when we went. And also because we approved weapons from our ally Saudi Arabia to go to the FSA, and then ISIS took those weapons. So she has no clue what the fuck she's talking about. The fact that she thought for a second you can make that argument, she should be fired immediately because she doesn't know what she's talking about. You can't hire somebody to give political rants and they say shit like that and you just brush it off like, that's Jeanine. No, that's a stupid person. That is a person who doesn't know anything about human history, doesn't know anything about American history. And she's like, well, we should bomb ISIS nonstop. We are, dipstick! How many bombs have we dropped? Over 160 so far? What do you want? How many do you want? 7,000? 23,000? You want to just keep bombing until we kill every Sunni Muslim in the region and then breed more hatred against us? Is that what you want to do? I can't take it, man. Fox News is dangerous for the United States of America. And look, there's a whole other aspect to this. Granted, this is speculation, but there's a whole other aspect to this that I think is terrifying, and that's the prospect that the dumb fucks who would listen to her show in the first place, well, you don't think that this might prod them into doing some sort of disastrous thing that they wouldn't have done in the first place? You don't think this is going to increase hate crime against Muslims in America? You don't think this is going to increase hate crimes against even Sikhs in America? I love that fucking show of brazen stupidity that after 9/11, not only did hate crimes against Muslims shoot through the roof, it also went up against Sikhs and Hindus. Because the dumbasses, the dumbass far-right Republicans don't know the difference. You got darker skin than me. You must have did something wrong. Punch him in the face. I cannot believe we still have to listen to people say, and Leon Panetta said this, the former defense secretary, and this shows you how ridiculous people are that are in Washington and in that establishment climate. Everybody just keeps saying now, well, we should have never left Iraq that early. That's the problem. Never left Iraq that early. We were there for over a decade. How long do you want to stay there? What, do you want to permanently stay in Iraq? That's the solution? Stay there permanently. I mean, what are we, Britain in 1562 now? Is that how we act? We just go places, set up shop, and say, fuck off, move over to the side. Now we're going to take your oil. That's what you want to do? That's how you want the United States of America to act? I mean, the problem is we went in the first place. How many times do I have to say this? We destabilized the Middle East. We broke the Middle East. We killed massive amounts of civilians. We radicalized the area. Then we armed the people that became the most radical, okay? And then we sit back and go, well, we should probably get more involved. Right, because that's not what caused the problem in the first place.